we kind of discussed that this was inevitable, but some major cuts coming down on the AXS side. It was reported by pwinsider.com that so AXS had offices in LA, in Denver, and in Dallas. And it looks like the Dallas office is just being completely gutted and being shut down. The Wrap is reporting that about 40 members of the 40 people have been laid off at AXS TV, and there's people in LA that are awaiting who they're going to be working for. It certainly seems like a very unstable time if you are part of AXS, and this is a very, very sad part of not just media, of just business in 2019, and it's something that very much bothers me, and not even because necessarily I've been part of this, but it's just that something gets sold, and it is because the company has become valuable to a certain level off the backs of a lot of hardworking people, and those are the people that typically lose their jobs in a lot of these acquisitions. And sadly, that's what's happening right now with AXS TV. Some of the people we know of, Adam Swift, he was at the time, he had been overseeing a lot of the content. He had been there for 11 years at AXS TV. He was their VP of Business and Legal Affairs, very instrumental in the growth when they were HDNet into AXS TV. Very hands-on with when ROH was on HDNet, and was the executive producer of New Japan on AXS TV. So he was someone absolutely involved in all of that, of the pro wrestling content on AXS TV. He announced this is his last week there. So probably more names will surface, but the Wrap throwing out that figure of 40 people.
Really unfortunate. Really unfortunate that, I mean, honestly, it's not surprising, but it is surprising that I think it came so suddenly, and that the fact that it affected so many people so suddenly.
It's like these people didn't even have a chance. It was it was like, we're coming in and it's a numbers game. You are just a number with a salary attached to you, and it's very disheartening for employees that it is no reflection on your work or what you've done. It's just simply, this is math, and you do not figure into our new equation. And it's a very sad reality when this occurs.
From a, more of a wrestling perspective, the departure of somebody like Adam Swift, and I'm sure it seems like much of the team, if not all of the team that's in charge of producing the English New Japan Pro Wrestling, I wonder how many of those people are still around and how much influence they will continue to have in the New Japan presentation on AXS, or if that'll be completely be taken over by Anthem and various producers working with Anthem instead. Watching a lot of the AXS productions over the years, I've definitely been impressed at the graphics and just the amount of work that those people put towards translating that product to an English speaking audience before New Japan was even doing regular commentary on their own. So I would love to see some of those people either stay on in other capacities or find jobs in the industry in other places, because they are clearly very talented and very knowledgeable about wrestling.
Yeah, I'm really surprised someone like an Adam Swift wasn't at least considered for some kind of role, just given his experience level, working specifically with pro wrestling. To me, that is someone that stands out to me. This could be a great asset to us.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think any of this comes down to what people have done. I don't think any of that is taken into consideration. It's just simply this is all numbers. It's all cost related. It's all numbers. That's it. There's no attachment to your resume.
Yeah, and I'm curious to know, if it's not going to be, if this New Japan stuff isn't, or WoW, if any of this kind of wrestling related content isn't going to be produced by that department, is it going to be farmed out to perhaps Nashville, perhaps Toronto?
That's typically what happens in these situations. It's that you are not mirroring jobs. There's a lot of redundancy, and you're going to take stuff in-house if you already have the means to do so within your own kind of environment, your own work environment that you have set up.
Yeah, and if it'll be Nashville, that certainly makes things interesting. If not already more interesting than how it already is between New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact. If Impact essentially becomes the producer of a New Japan Pro Wrestling product on North America television,
I would think that the Impact New Japan thing, I think that needs to get figured out quickly, because it's like this really weird relationship, or lack thereof, between the two. And it seems that it's almost, they've got to get into a room and decide, are we moving forward with this or are we not? Because it seems like that decision has to be made.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine whatever contracts that currently exist still have to be maintained, right? I can't see them just cutting ties simply because of a buyout. But some of the more specifics of the production itself, I'm really curious about.
I also threw this out on Twitter. I got a lot of feedback from people asking what night and time slot makes the most sense for Impact. And it seems like the consensus is running Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock is what most people who got back to me thought would be the best time to do that. That you have right now an established time slot that people are used to watching on Tuesday nights that is going to be free come October when SmackDown moves out of that slot. Is that... you're avoiding the NFL by not running on Mondays or Thursdays, and obviously Monday and Wednesdays would just be, to me, a terrible idea. And Tuesdays, there's a lot of arguments to do Tuesday nights, and maybe also a replay in an advantageous time slot like Friday night after SmackDown, or pairing it with New Japan later in the week.
Yes, I think. I'm surprised that WWE themselves haven't announced something for Tuesdays at 8 o'clock to replace their own show, either like obviously on the network or some other capacity. To me, like, wrestling fans at this point are so conditioned to, watch wrestling on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock that I feel like WWE would have kind of, at least, they probably maybe have some plans, but I'm surprised that everybody's so caught up on like Wednesday or Fridays that, you're leaving this like beautiful time slot wide open for somebody else to take.
Well, I think their focus right now is on Wednesdays, and more importantly, like Fox and Wednesdays. And I don't know how much WWE is looking at, well, we're leaving a door open for Impact Wrestling on AXS.
But I mean, their own network, they can air stuff at any time. And to me, like that little kind of seat between Monday and Wednesday is a perfect opportunity for them to push something else, whether it be NXT UK or
we've still got no official announcement on what the fate of 205 Live is going to be. Is that going to be something that is still taped on Friday nights now and could go on Tuesday nights in its slot? Will that move to Fridays? What's going to happen with 205 Live? We're a month away, and I think that's still a subject at large that we don't really know what's going to happen with that show.